Just check real quick. Am I live? Am I live? It ain't popping up. Hold on, guys. Okay, there we go. Thank you for your patience. I just have to make sure because my videos have been coming out horrible and I don't understand why. Like, okay. Because I don't know, it's just like when you are watching a video and if the quality of that video it sucks, you're not gonna want to watch it. It don't matter what they're talking about. And so like I don't want my message to be hindered because my videos look crazy. Okay. So it looks good so far. So let's go ahead. Okay. Let me go ahead and introduce myself first. Thank you for your patience. I'm going to introduce myself. We're going to get started. Okay. Welcome to Healing Hearts and Souls with Tarot, where we are about healing the soul of the divine feminine. My name is Patricia, aka the Intuitive Empress. Thank you for joining me on tonight. Okay. Or whenever you see this video, if you're watching it live or on the replay. Okay. Hope you're having a good day. I hope you're having a good morning, afternoon, wherever you are, or whatever time you see this video, okay? Thank you for watching. If this is your first time seeing this beautiful face, thank you for joining me. Sit down, get comfortable. We'll be here for a while. If you are a returning Empress and you've been here before, thank you for, well, of course, if you're returning, you've been here before, right? But thank you for joining me. Sit down and get comfortable because you already know we be here for a while. If you are not, please make sure you are like and following us here on Facebook. We are on Instagram and YouTube at Healing Hearts and Souls with Tarot. We are also on TikTok at Healing Souls with Tarot. Okay, we are almost at our first milestone, y'all. I'm so excited, okay? So when we get to 100 likes and 100 follows, we already are over 100 followers. We just have to get the likes to 100, okay? So that is our first milestone. So when we get to 100 likes and 100 follows, I will be doing our first giveaway here on Healing Hearts and Souls with Tarot. I ain't forget, okay? And to start the giveaway off, I am going to do free mini reads for you guys just to show my appreciation for supporting me, for liking the video, for commenting on it, you know, for liking the page, following the page, for watching the video. Even if you don't like or comment, you watch it, okay? My videos are being watched, okay? People are listening to what I have to say, and so therefore I always want to make sure that I am giving you guys quality material. Even I want to make sure that even with the background, you know, that I look presentable, that I am just giving you a video worth your time, you know what I'm saying? And so when my videos be coming out looking crazy, it really does bother me. It really, really, really does. So tonight we are going to be getting into part 2 of the sacral chakra. Okay, we are going to be talking about intimacy and how it affects us when we are not healed, healthy, and whole. Okay, when we are blocked up, unbalanced, and bothered. Okay, and so I just want to show you guys how intimacy affects us and how important it is to have relationships that involve intimacy, because it's not just sex. Intimacy is not just having sex with somebody. It is so much more than just that, okay? And so we're going to start off. I'm going to first start off by reminding you what the sacral chakra is, okay? It is the second attribute of the divine feminine as it relates to the sacral chakra, as it relates to us here at Healing Hearts and Souls with Tarot, okay? This is authentic material, okay? If you hear this anywhere else, it has been stolen, okay? It's been copied, okay? I did this. This is my work, okay? And so the second, oh, I keep doing that. The second attribute of the divine feminine as it relates to the 7 chakras. Okay. So the sacral chakra is all about a passionate creativity, okay? And it represents, for me, the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands represents what the sacral chakra stands for in divine feminine energy, whether you are in divine feminine or whether you are in Empress energy or whether you are in karmic energy, okay? Okay, so she has an intimate relationship with self and with her God, which allows passionate creativity to flow freely through her womb. Okay, so you have an intimate relationship with yourself and with your God, which allows passionate creativity to flow through your womb. Okay, and so the sacral chakra, it is the center of pleasure and passion, both sensually and creatively, which equals feelings and sensations. So the sacral chakra is where all of our feelings and sensations are centered at. It governs our emotional, how we, how we relate to the world from on an emotional standpoint, how we relate to our family and our friends and people who are in our environment on a day-to-day basis. Okay, the sacral chakra controls all of that, and the moon governs the sacral chakra. I went into the basics of the sacral chakra in our last video, so I'm not going to get into all of that again. If you haven't seen that video, you can go ahead and go back and watch it. It is the one right before this one. Okay, and so also, guys, it's only going to be two parts to this, because the first part, I said it was going to be 3 parts, okay? But me talking about the Queen of Wands would have been the 3rd part, and that was technically the first. I talked about that first, which is why I wanted to go ahead and get into the sacral chakra. So we already did. So technically, this would be part 3. I mean, I can go over it again just so we can have its own separate video, but whatever. So this is going to be the ending of the sacral chakra for us, because like I said, the 3rd part would have been the Queen of Wands, and we already talked about her. Okay, and so tonight we are going to be talking about intimacy, and specifically how sexual trauma, whether especially at an early age, early childhood trauma, when you experience sexual trauma at a young age, it affects the way you relate to people, because your view of the world has drastically been changed. Okay. And so, going through any form of sexual trauma, it doesn't matter what it is, okay? Any form of it that has not been dealt with, that has not been healed, it is a direct blockage to the sacral chakra. We act out that emotion, we act out that trauma in our everyday life with the things that we say and we do, okay? How we conduct ourselves, how we carry ourselves. It don't matter how far you try to push it in the back of your head. It don't matter how far you try to stuff it down in your heart. It is there, and you act it out every day. Trust me, I know, okay? And that's why being honest about that and standing in your truth, right? A lot of times sexual trauma goes unhealed because, when people talk about it, nobody believes them. And so when nobody believes them, they keep it inside. Okay. And it be a whole bunch of other things that has happened outside of what they are telling. And it's like, well, if you didn't believe this, you're not going to believe that. And so all of the other stuff that has went on is not talked about, it's not spoken of, it's pushed down, because you don't want to experience the pain and the trauma and the embarrassment of trying to get help. Okay, when somebody, for the most part, okay, tales about what is going on with them. That is them reaching out for help, right? That is them wanting it to stop. That is them wanting to be safe again, okay? And so it is up to us to take the necessary steps to make sure that child is protected, right? To make sure that adult is protected, okay? It is not for us to just off the bat say that we don't believe that person. That's not fair, okay? That's why we have systems set in place to find out, to get to the bottom of it, right? But for me, as far as I'm concerned, I don't give a damn, right? When it comes to me, I'm going to believe whoever it is until I have proof of otherwise. Okay, so somebody was to come to me and tell me that things was happening to them and they didn't like it, right? I wouldn't just automatically just consider them a liar and not believe them, right? I would believe them until I found out otherwise. That's me, okay? And that's how it should be, period. Because when a child comes to you and tell you that things are going on and they don't like it, and they're coming to you for help, right, to help them get out of the situation, and you don't believe them, and you send them back into that situation for the same thing to continue to happen to them. And it's even worse now, because now the perpetrator know that the baby done told, right? Now this person who you sending this baby back home to, now they know that baby told about what was going on in that household, and you sent them back to that to experience and endure even worse, right? And that's why we got all these empresses out here not knowing who they are, right? Pimping their womanhood out for love, right? Going above and beyond to get the attention of a man, or they are completely turned off from men, right? Because it wasn't dealt with when they were a child. And it couldn't be dealt with when it was a child, when they were a child, because they didn't have anybody to believe them, right? And so at some point we have to, when we take that trauma from our childhood and then we carry it into our adulthood, right? At some point we have to take responsibility for our healing, right? We have to say, am I going to continue to allow this situation to dictate how I live my life, or am I going to be honest about it, and I'm going to stand in it, and I'm going to talk about it, and I'm going to heal from it so that I can be the best me that I am supposed to be, right? So as a child, we didn't have no control over it, right? But in our adulthood, we have the choice, we have the decision to heal from it and let it go, so we are not stuck in that bondage anymore, right? Because it shows up in our relationships. It shows up in how we deal with people and how we treat ourselves. It don't matter. You don't have to talk about it never in your life, but trust and believe, baby girl, you are acting it out every day. I promise you. It dictates every decision you make. I promise you it does. Okay, and so we are just going, and this is a little heavy for me because I'm coming from personal experience as well. Okay, hi, my name is Patricia, and I am a survivor of sexual abuse. Okay, so I understand, and this was me, and I had to make the decision to take my healing into my own hands and decide that I don't want to live this life anymore. I don't want this to continue to dictate and hurt me anymore. Like, I don't want this to have power over my life anymore. Yes, it happened. I can't change it. There is nothing that I could do about it but heal from it and go on to be a better person, and in turn help somebody else. Okay, so I'm right here with you, my sister. Okay, we in this together. I understand. Okay, so intimacy. What is intimacy? Intimacy is mutual vulnerability, right? So in order to have an intimate relationship with somebody, both parties have to be willing to be vulnerable. Okay, it is openness and sharing. It is. I should have looked up the definition of vulnerability too. It is often present in close, loving relationships, also used to refer to sexual interactions, but intimacy does not have to be sexual. Okay. So, in talking about intimacy, there are 4 different types of intimacy that we are going to talk about on tonight. Okay. And those 4 intimacies are emotional, mental, physical, and spiritual intimacy is what we are going to be talking about tonight. Okay. So, emotional intimacy is having the ability to be open and honest about your feelings and feeling safe in doing so, right? Trusting in self, feeling secured, and feel loved, right? Because you have to go back to the place to where your trust was broken, right? Where you stop feeling safe. Okay, you have to go back to that place and heal that why. Like what happened, where did it happen, and why did it happen? And when you uncover the why, that is what needs to be uprooted and healed, so that you can have emotional, intimate relationships with other people, so that you can be safe, so that you can feel safe in being vulnerable again, so that you can feel safe in trusting again, so you can feel safe in being you. Right? You don't feel like you're not good enough anymore. You don't feel like you are not worthy of love anymore, because you went back and you identified the place and time in your life where that stopped being true for you, right? Where feeling safe stopped being true for you, okay? Because as kids, we trust everybody, right? We are open, we are vulnerable. It is just in us to be that way. But then things happen in our life and it causes us to draw back and close up. But the problem is we don't learn how to undraw, right? We don't learn how to step back into reality. Okay. So emotional intimacy is having the ability to be open and honest about how you feel, and feeling safe to do so, right? Trusting the person you are being intimate with, you are being vulnerable with, that in turn they are going to be vulnerable with you, right? So mental intimacy is a meeting of the minds, right? It is the higher self, and God, okay? Shared ideas, moral values, ethics, and integrity, right? So it's about, meeting people who have the same viewpoint as you, or even if y'all don't have the same viewpoint, y'all can agree to disagree, but it's still an emotional intimacy, because both of y'all feel safe to say how you feel, to express your emotional feelings about the topic, that the mental topic that you were talking about. Like, you feel safe in doing so. Like, yeah, even though I don't agree with what you're saying, or you don't agree with what I'm saying, you I'm still safe in being honest with how I feel, and you are still safe in being vulnerable and how you feel, right? Okay, so then we have physical intimacy. Sensual proximity or touching as an act or reaction, such as an expression of feelings, right? So, just as an example of physical intimacy, right? When you are talking to somebody about things that have happened to you, and you are being vulnerable, and you are expressing how you feeling, and you're trusting, and you feel safe in doing so, and then to help comfort you, that person comes and they give you a hug, right? And I know for me, because I didn't learn intimacy the right way, because I didn't learn love the right way, and being able to, freely express myself the right way, anytime somebody would show me physical intimacy, physical affection, I always felt like I was being violated, because I was never shown what it looked like the right way. And so any form of that made me uncomfortable, because all I knew is what had been done to me. All I knew is what I had been taught. And so it was uncomfortable, right? If because I grew up in like group homes and shit, foster homes and shit like that. And so There was one particular facility that I was in, and it was this lady, and she always loved me. Like, she always went above and beyond, to show me love, and to show me, that I was worthy of being loved, and she wasn't looking for anything in return, right? But because I had experienced so much abuse and trauma, it made me feel very uncomfortable, because I didn't know what her motives was. Even though she had never did any wrong to me, she was always supporting and uplifting and encouraging me. If I needed somebody to talk to or whatever, she was there for me. But when it came to her showing it physically, it was extremely uncomfortable for me. Like, it would give me goosebumps. It would make every antenna in my body stand up. It would make the hair on my body stand up. Like, it was uncomfortable for me. But what I know on today is that it was uncomfortable because I had never been shown that level of intimacy before. I had appropriately, right? It was appropriate, but I had never been shown that before. I had never experienced that before, and so I didn't know what it looked like. And because it was so, so intimate, it scared me, right? Because she would give me hugs, and she would just kiss me, kiss me all over my face, and just hug me and then tell me that everything is gonna be all right. She got my back, and and she let me hold on to her and cry on her chest or whatever. But the hugs and the kisses, it made me very uncomfortable, because I had never experienced that before. I never had nobody do that to me before. I never had nobody really even believe my story. So the fact that somebody believed my story, and then they was comforting me on top of that, it was a lot for me to handle as a child. I think I was like 12, about 12, 13 at that time. And so, but that was a form of physical intimacy that she was showing me that I had never, and that moment, I promise you, y'all, that moment has always stood out to me in my life. And now because I really didn't. And I was like, I don't feel like she was trying to violate me. But that's what it felt like. But I didn't say that. I never told, this is the first time I'm even bringing this experience up to y'all, okay? Like, I didn't want to go and say that she violated me, because I knew that she wasn't. I knew those wasn't her intentions. I knew that was not what she was trying to do. It was just that the feelings of intimacy that she was showing me, I wasn't used to. I wasn't comfortable with, and so therefore it hit me in an uncomfortable place, right? But on today, I know that she was showing me her love. That is how, mothers show love. That is how aunties show love. When their niece or their daughter or their friend is hurting, you hold them and you give them a hug and you let them know that it's going to be okay. When your child is crying, you kiss them and you kiss their tears away. You wipe their tears away and you let them know that they are going to be okay. That does not mean that they are trying to violate you. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't, like I said, in the moment, I didn't feel like that. It was just uncomfortable because I had never experienced it before, right? But sitting here today, I know that was a form of physical intimacy, okay? Without it being a sexual experience, okay? Physical intimacy and sexual intimacy can be one and the same, because the act of sex is physical. But for this, we're not talking about sex at all, okay? Physical, giving hugs, giving kisses, a rub on the shoulder, a pat on the back, or holding hands, and you squeeze that person's hand, letting them know that you're there, and we in this moment together, right? Those are forms of physical intimacy the right way, right? Without being violated, okay? And so spiritual intimacy is being open and honest while trusting self and avoiding any judgment, right? Just allowing it to be, right? Because remember, we are spiritual beings first, having a physical experience down here on earth. And so the spiritual symptoms show up physically, right? And so that's why even when you break down the chakras, you, based on the physical symptoms you are having, can pinpoint where your blockages are at in the spiritual, because they happen in the spiritual first, and then they manifest in the 3D as health problems, right, and things like that. So what was I about to say? It is the process of opening your heart, which is the core aspects of who we are. Our heart, right? Our heart, it centers everything. The top three chakras are our spiritual chakras, the 5D, right? And then the bottom three chakras are our physical chakras, the 3D. And our heart is what anchors those three. I mean, the six of them, the three at the top and the three at the bottom, they all connect at the heart, and the heart is what is making everything go round. And so if you have any blockages anywhere, you are going to be all blocked up, period, because you are not getting the appropriate messages to your heart. And remember, God speaks to us through our heart, right? Okay, so to create a strong and powerful emotional, physical closeness with God. So physical intimacy is being able to have, spiritual intimacy is being able to have emotional, mental, and physical intimacy with the Lord. Okay, using all of them three, allowing God to speak to your heart, allowing the love of the Lord to come into your life and wash away all the hurt and the pain, allowing the love of the Lord to come in and fill you with the love of the Lord, right? Which pushes out all of the hate that we have carried in us because of all of the trauma we have experienced, okay? And so a physical, spiritual intimacy is feeling safe and trusting and being able to be vulnerable with God, so you can have a closeness with God, so that you can then in turn come into relationship with God, right? Because loving self is loving God, okay? We are one with our Creator. I think I'm still not blurry. Okay, so because this is what it's all about, y'all. It's all about getting back to self. It's all about getting to know the love of your Creator, of your God, whatever it is that you call your God, okay? It is getting to know that love. It is becoming one with your source, finding your power, stepping into your power, and understanding who you are, right? You have to have a God that you believe in, because if not, nothing else makes sense. Okay, so signs of intimacy issues. You compare yourself to other people, especially other women, right? Like you always feel like you are not good enough. You can look at somebody and you see everything wrong with them, but in all actuality, what you are seeing wrong in them is what you see is wrong with you, right? Or you compare yourself to other women in a sense that you feel like that they're better than you, or you feel like you don't have the qualities that they have, and so then because you don't have them qualities, you then begin to think that they are better than everybody else, when that is not the case. It is how we feel, the insecurities that we have within ourselves, and we push them off on other people, right? You shut down emotionally, that you don't like talking about feelings, you don't like sharing your feelings, right? You get uncomfortable when people even are emotional with you. It makes you uncomfortable. You don't want to get deep. You don't want to dive deep and talk about the things that really matter emotionally, because it's too much for you to handle, right? Your friendships and your relationships don't last long, right? And like I've told y'all many of times, I've never really had, long lasting friendships. Like, I really don't know what it really is to have like a true friend that sticks around and stays there with you through thick and thin. So for all my ladies, if you have that, you cherish that and you honor that, and you give your friend her flowers while she is alive. You let her know that you appreciate her while she is alive, because that trait is not rare. Trust. But I also understand why my life had to go the way that the way that it went, and I'm not mad about it. I'm not at all. Okay, you are hesitant to commit to anything, and you also struggle with commitment, right? You don't like tying yourself down to anything. You don't like, you know, because you know you're not gonna come through. Like, you know, like, okay, I may feel like today, I may feel like it's a yes today. Like, I may not care to do it today, but this thing is 3 days away. And I know that 3 days, I might not feel this way 3 days later. It's like you are scared to commit yourself to anything because you don't feel like you are good enough. You don't feel like you are able to come through. You don't even feel like, you don't even know why somebody would even ask you to help them with anything, because you don't feel like you have anything good to offer. You don't feel like your voice is deserving to be heard. Like you don't feel like you have anything to say, and so it keeps you from really committing to anything. And that's also in a way to where you are wishy-washy. You always changing your mind. You will commit to this one day, and then the next day you don't want nothing to do with it. You don't got a whole new project going on over here, but then 2 days later you're not even interested in this anymore. Okay, so, and that is you trying to find yourself. You are trying to find things that you like, things that you enjoy, but you haven't been able to do that yet. And so, okay, so you are comfortable giving your body to strangers, right? Like having those no strings attached type of relationships. Like you don't mind. You're more comfortable with, giving your body to somebody you don't know, whereas you dating somebody and you getting to know them, and and them getting to know you in return, creating that intimacy. You don't want that, because you feel like if they really know who you are, if they really know all that you, because you feel like you're damaged goods. And so if they knew how damaged you were, they're not gonna want nothing to do with you anyway. They're not going to stick around anyway. So I would rather just come off as a whore and just give you my body, because that's all you want anyway, and I would rather give it to you before you take it from me. So in order for me to keep my power, I'm going to just tell you yes, even though I want to say no, because you're going to take it anyway, right? That's how we think. And so even though we want love, we want to be loved, we want a long-lasting, committed relationship, it scares us because we feel like that person is going to see our flaws and our faults, and they're going to leave anyway. They're not going to want nothing to do with us anyway. So therefore, I'm just going to give you what you think about me. You already think I'm a whore, so I'm just going to be a whore anyway. When that don't be the case, the way my husband came into my life and showed me what love was, and really taught me how to love me and honor me. Like, my husband, he didn't require me to go out of my way in a sexual sense to get his attention, to make me feel like I was worthy of him, or my husband didn't make me do all type of tricks and shit to prove my love to him, right? My husband loved me just cause he loved me, because he got to know me. He got to know who I was. It wasn't about my body, it was about me. He thought I was a dope person. He thought I was a good person, and he connected to that, and he showed me what love is and what love really is about. And everything I thought was love, everything I thought I wanted in love, everything I thought I wanted in a relationship, or I needed in a relationship to feel whole and stable, my husband has shown me. I thought I needed all of that out of my brokenness. Okay, I understand and I know what true love is. The love that I get from my husband and the love that I get from the Lord has shown me what true love really is. I'm sorry, y'all. This topic is heavy for me, okay? So, you resist close relationships, even with family. You have anxiety, which makes it difficult to form close bonds, right? Because you think everybody out to get you. You think that, nobody loves you. You're not worthy of love, and so you don't even want to give people the chance to even get to know you, because you feel like all they're gonna do is leave you anyway. I'm playing with this light. Okay. because getting close to people, it gives us anxiety. It really does. Like opening up and allowing people to enter into our sacred places, our vulnerable places, and being open and honest about all the things that we have going on. It really does give us anxiety because of all of the reactions we've gotten from other people. And for whatever reason, y'all, I was one of them people who just told the world, you know, I was a woe is me as person. I really was. I was a woe is me as person, right? Everybody who came into my life, I wanted everybody to know all the wrong that had been done to me. I wanted everybody to know why I was the way that I was. I mean, in a way, I think I just wanted to feel protected. Like, I think I wanted somebody to say that, you know, like, all of that is bullshit and they was all wrong for how they did you. Oh my God. Like, but I didn't realize how I was coming off, you know, because at the end of the day, when you have been violated that way, all you want to feel is protected. You want to feel safe. You want to feel loved. You want to know that you are worthy of love. But the way we go about it, it don't get us the results that we want, which then feeds the thoughts of us not being good enough. It clarifies that for us. Like, okay, well, I can't be good enough if everybody that come into my life, they end up leaving. Nobody stays, right? Like I don't feel like I'm protected. I'm not worthy of being protected. I'm not worthy of being loved. And Miss Empress, that is not true. You are worthy and you are deserving of love and you are good enough to have love in your life, right? But first, we got to remove the barriers and the blockages that pushes real love away from us, right? Because that's what we do. In us trying to protect ourselves, we in turn push the people who mean us good away because we don't trust anybody, right? I should have just left it alone, right? Hold on, y'all. Why didn't I just leave it alone, y'all? Why? Okay, so where was that? Okay, so intimacy can trigger thoughts. Intimacy can trigger thoughts, trauma, fear, and flashbacks, y'all. I'm looking to see. So intimacy can trigger thoughts, fears, anxiety, flashbacks, you know, when you are in that moment, right? You are experiencing that moment over and over again. Intimacy can trigger nightmares. And I can say that since I have gone through my healing, I don't have nightmares anymore. I'm not being attacked in my sleep anymore. Like my mind and my thoughts are not being attacked anymore. Like since I have gone through my healing, and I really dealt with all of the trauma that I have experienced and I let it go. I don't have fears and anxieties about it anymore. Right? I understand that I am good enough. But even certain smells, like certain smells would trigger flashbacks for me. And for me, I don't know if this is a normal thing, but I can remember things from back when I was like 1 and 2. And I lied to you now. I guarantee you, if I was to tell my mama a story, she would know I'm telling the truth because she was there. And I'm saying that because like 1-year-olds. But if I tell my mama a story from when I was 1, she would know I'm telling the truth because she was there. Is what I mean. Okay, so yeah, I do. I remember things back from being that young. Okay, I'm not saying I experienced trauma that young. But I remember things from when, like I have a cut on the bottom of my foot that happened when I was like 1 or 2. And I remember how that happened. I remember what we was doing, what was going on. I remember the cul-de-sac. I remember the glass being there. I remember everybody being outside. I remember the fight breaking out. I remember all of it. I remember exactly down to the T how I got this cut on my foot. Okay. And so the only way to get this to stop is to deal with it. The only way to get the flashbacks to stop, to get the triggers to stop, to get the anxiety and the fears to stop. The only way that is if you deal with it, if you confront it head on. This is what I was doing on my couch for a year, y'all. It was in my face for a whole year. And it wasn't just this, it was everything that I have ever been through, every blockage that I had going on with me, everything that I experienced, everything that I've been through. This is what I was doing, sitting on my couch in the darkness. This is why it was so dark for me, y'all, because I had it in my face. I had to deal with it. I had to get through it. I had to get over it, because God had plans for me, and his plans was not for me to stay traumatized by what I had going on because of what I've been through. Right? We are not responsible for the things people do to us, y'all. We are responsible for how we, in turn, deal with them. Right? We are responsible for how we allow it to affect our life. We are responsible for our healing. Right? We cannot allow the things that people do to us to keep us from from living in our truth and being the best versions of ourselves that we are supposed to be. We cannot not allow the fear of the trauma to keep us stuck, y'all. That ain't fair. It's not fair to us. It wasn't fair to me that I was allowing everything that I had been through to keep me stuck and to keep me hindered, because if I didn't go through my healing process, I wouldn't be able to sit here and help somebody else. I wouldn't have the strength to even talk about this, right? And I was like, God, are you sure? Are you sure we're going there tonight? Because I was just going to read the paper, pull out the cards, and we were just going to go about our day. But no, I had to be honest and vulnerable. I had to be vulnerable, right? I had to open up an intimate side of me to allow this message to come through so it can have the impact that it needs to have, okay? I understand what this is like. I have been there. And that's why I say this is my authentic material, because I put this material together with the knowledge that I gained from studying, and then also from personal experience, from the things that I have been through, okay? So it causes flashbacks, and it brings about behaviors that make you or the people around you feel uncomfortable. So I'm going to read that again. Intimacy can trigger thoughts, trauma, fear, and flashbacks, and bring about behaviors that make you or the people around you feel uncomfortable. Right? When we at dinner and we eating turkey, and then somebody talk about how, somebody did this to them back in the day, and everybody looking like, okay, where did that come from? Or how, I don't, you just do things that embarrass other people. Like, have you ever watched something and you was embarrassed for that person, even though it had nothing to do with you? Like when you be watching American Idol and somebody come on there thinking they can sing, and they know damn well they can't sing, and you're watching it and you're embarrassed for them. That is what this means, okay? So having a neglectful or abusive childhood and trauma significantly affects how we respond to intimacy with self and with others, right? Because we cannot know self-love, we cannot have self-love if we don't have a relationship with ourselves first. And being able to have a relationship with ourselves means we have to be intimate with self, because you cannot know anybody without having that intimacy there, without having that vulnerability there, without feeling safe and trusting in the other person, right? So you have to feel safe within you. You have to trust you. You have to protect you in order to have an intimate relationship with the Lord, with yourself, and also with the Lord. Because you have to trust God. You have to trust that God is going to bring you out. God is going to make a way. You have to, above all of that, you have to trust that God loves you, right? And he is not trying to condemn your soul to hell because you are acting out behaviors from trauma that you've been through. Okay, you have to trust that God knows what is best for you. But you first have to trust in yourself, because if you're not trusting in your decisions, you're not going to trust in God's decisions. If you are second guessing you, you are going to second guess God, and you are going to talk yourself around back to the very place you are trying to get out of. Okay, so you believe you are not worthy of love. Is that better? That looks better. You believe you are not worthy of love. You believe you are not deserving of love. You feel like you will never have love. You feel like you will never have. That's how I felt. I never felt like I was going to have somebody love me for me. I never felt like I was going to have, I never felt like I was ever going to have my husband. I never felt like God was going to give me somebody to love the broken places not love the broken places in me, but not turn away from me because of it. Like, because and when my husband met me, I had a nasty ass attitude. I did. My mouth was still trifling. I didn't know how to problem solve. I didn't know how to communicate. Like my husband loved me out of my brokenness. Like him giving me the stability and the love and the understanding and the patience that I needed. It provided a safe place, a safe environment for me to then go through my healing process, because I met my husband in my brokenness still. And my husband loved me in spite of and regardless of even all the bullshit I put him through with the shit that I was doing. You know what I'm saying? My husband still loved me in spite of that. He still stood for me. He still vowed to protect me. He didn't turn his back on me. Even when I ran from him, my husband did not let me go. I can honestly say my husband is the only person who has ever chased behind me. He is the only person who didn't let me walk away. He is the only person who made me feel like I was worthy of loving. And he's the only person. Without having any ulterior motives, right? I didn't have to do all type of crazy shit for my husband, for him to say he loved me. He loves me just because he loves me, right? And my husband is the first person that I have ever experienced that with. Okay, so you avoid others for fear of rejection. Yet you don't like being alone, right? You be like, I don't like friends. I don't need no friends. I don't want no friends, right? But then we don't like being alone. Okay, well, we sit in the house by ourselves, and then everybody else is out enjoying themselves, and you see people posting pictures of them with their friends out on trips and things like that. It make you feel some type of way. It make you sad, right? But it's like I didn't like being around a lot of people, but I didn't like being alone. I didn't like being around a lot of people because I didn't feel safe. And though, like, I never felt safe and comfortable in chaotic environments. Like, even with family get-togethers, I've never felt comfortable at those. Like, I've never felt comfortable being in a space where I couldn't be authentic to me at, right? And I used to try to fit in so bad. I used to try to be what I thought people wanted me to be, what I thought. I used to try to do things that I thought would make people like me, or would make people want me to be a part of their family. Like, I used to go out of my way to be included and accepted in other people's families, because I didn't want to be alone. But it never worked out for me the way that I thought it did. Even when I thought that I was being accepted, when it came down to it, it showed me that is family. I am not. And I had many rude awakenings in this process. But I understand why. Because I wasn't being authentic to me. I was being what I felt other people wanted me to be in order to be accepted. So I wasn't being true to who I was, and so it wasn't gonna work for me anyway, because of the calling that I had on my life. Okay, and so you avoid others for fear of rejection. Yet you don't like being alone. Being highly sensitive to criticism, yet you are nasty and overcritical. Okay, we have problems communicating feelings unless you are mad and being very nasty, right? The only time we got anything to say is when we cussing somebody out, right? When we telling somebody about themselves, like we don't have good communication skills. All we know how to be is angry, mean, hateful, and nasty. That's it. So having intimacy issues within self will directly affect every other relationship you have. You have to completely trust yourself in order to be intimate with self. In order to fix issues with intimacy, you have to first fix the issue slash problem slash blockages within self that caused the issue in the first place. You got to get to the root of it. You cannot, if you fix the issue, you heal the symptoms, right? If you fix the issue, you heal the symptoms. If you fix the issue, if you fixed, like I'm not get okay. So I got a cold, right? I got a runny nose. My throat is sore, right? My eyes burn and they water and my ears itch, right? And it's irritating my allergies. And okay, so I take medicine to kill the cold. Because in killing the cold, the symptoms are going to go away. My nose ain't going to be running and stopped up. My throat ain't going to be hurting. My ears ain't going to be itching. I have to heal the cold so the symptoms can go away. We have to heal the trauma so the symptoms can go away, right? My drug addiction wasn't the problem. It was a symptom of the problem, right? Me not loving myself, what wasn't the problem? It was the symptom of the problem. Me acting out and being promiscuous wasn't the problem. It was the symptom of the problem. The problem was the trauma that I had experienced in my life at such an early age. That was the problem. Everything else became a symptom of that, right? Get what I'm saying? Okay. Okay, and so we have to work through our blockages, our negative thoughts, and our negative feelings as they arise. We have to do a complete soul healing first. Childhood trauma is the main cause of intimacy issues, and as adults, it manifests as avoidance and fear used as an unhealthy defense mechanism to protect the mind from potential danger, right? We use unhealthy mechanisms, unhealthy defense mechanisms, unhealthy coping skills to first of all block it all out, right? And to also protect ourselves from being hurt again. We don't want to go through that again. We don't want to experience that again. So if we keep people away, then we don't have to worry about them hurting us. But in reality, that is hurting us because we don't want to be alone, but we don't push every damn body away. Don't nobody want to be around us because we mean, we hateful, and we nasty. We like Naomi, we bitter, right? And so don't nobody want to be around us, but that is a symptom of the problem. Okay, so to protect ourselves from potential danger, from more trauma, from more hurt and pain, which turns into isolation and loneliness. Okay, and that's why I say we be wanting so much, but at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, we go home to an empty house in an empty bed, being lonely and feeling isolated, right? And all of them feelings hit us, and they sit on our chest, and to the point to where it feel like we can't breathe, right? Listen, I know the depth of hurt and pain that I felt in my loneliness. And so I don't ever want anybody to ever feel like that. And that's why I'm here to tell you that healing is here for you. Okay? Because I experienced that suffocating pain, right? That pain that it hurt so bad you couldn't breathe. Right? That pain that it hurt so bad you couldn't even cry. Like, I know what real pain is. I know what emotional pain is. Like you literally feel your heart stop. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know what pain is, y'all. And I'm here to let you know that healing is here for you if you will take it. I took God up on his offer, and I have not looked back since. I have not. Okay, and So, like I said, intimacy issues are a symptom of the problem. We have to get down deep and get honest with ourselves. Even if nobody believed you, sis, you still, you know what happened, right? God know what happened, right? That's all you need, my love. And I say that because I was the same way. I used to always want validation. I used to always want to be vindicated. Like, I used to always just wanted somebody to say that they believed me, but I never got that. And so I could not continue to base my healing off of being vindicated, right? Because vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. So as I know what happened, and the Lord know what happened. I know I am the way that I am because of a lot of the things that I experienced in my life. I experienced childhood trauma, and then I went on to experience trauma in my adult years too. And so I had a lot of shit to work through. Okay, because the foundation that I had already established was already faulty going into adulthood. And so then I started adding other experiences on top of that wasn't being dealt with, that I was just stuffing down, and nobody could understand why I was the way that I was. But if you really look back to my history, you will understand, right? You will see, you will get why I was, because I had a lot of shit going on in my head. I didn't have nobody to talk to. I didn't have nobody I could trust. I didn't have nobody to show me the way, to tell me that healing is here for me, to tell me that the Lord loves me and he don't want me to be like this. I didn't have nobody to really trust enough, to be vulnerable enough to say that I'm hurting and I need help, and this is why. All they saw was what I showed up as. And then, yes, there has been a few people in my life who I did trust enough to be vulnerable that way, but they didn't stay long, right? Nobody ever stayed long enough to really help me get through what I needed to get through. And so, and that's fine. I'm not mad at it. When I tell you, after I went through my healing, I didn't care about it. I didn't care enough to want to be mad about it no more. I didn't want vindication anymore. I don't care. You know, it's my story, and it is authentic to who I am. But I'm not saying this because I need somebody to come and tell me anything. I have dealt with that. I have dealt with needing somebody else to make me whole. The Lord has made me whole, so I am whole. The Lord has healed me, so I am healed. So I don't even care about it in that aspect anymore. It doesn't bother me anymore. It doesn't affect me anymore. I could think about it and not cry. I could think about it and it don't hurt as bad, right? I could talk about it without feeling the heaviness. Well, I feel the heaviness of it because I'm feeling your heaviness too. But what I'm saying is, it does not affect my everyday life anymore. From At this point in my life, I'm taking my experiences and I am using them to help somebody else, right? So you will hear me talk about things that I have been through, but it's not in a way to bash anybody or to make anybody uncomfortable. It is to let you know that I understand and that I was right where you was at. And I felt like the only way I would be loved is if I pimped my womanhood out, right? That nobody would ever love me for me or get to know me for me. But God showed me otherwise. And so I am here as a living, breathing witness, a living, breathing witness to tell my testimony, to show you that healing is here for you and it is possible for you to have a better life. Okay, that the sun can and will shine for you. Okay, that is my goal. That is my purpose, right? Those are my intentions. My intentions is not to make anybody feel bad or anything like that. I have forgiven myself. I have forgiven everybody who has ever did anything to me. Like I'm not holding no hate, no anger, no animosity in my heart for anybody. But I tell you, I am completely free on today. I am completely free on today, and I mean that wholeheartedly. I really allow God to do a new thing in me, and I ain't looked back since, y'all. I haven't, and I don't plan on it. Like, I don't ever want to live in bondage again. I don't ever want to be wrapped up, tied up, tangled up in bondage again, right? But we have to first trust in ourselves. We have to know that we are good enough. We have to know that we are worthy and we are deserving, okay? We have to know that God loves us. It doesn't matter what we've been through. It doesn't matter what we've done. It doesn't matter how we feel about us. God loves us, right? And you allow the love of the Lord to rain down in your life so that God can heal those broken places in you. Okay, because you are good enough, Miss Empress. You are. I'm just still checking on the quality of my video, okay? And so we're just going to get a quick message, you know, just to go with the lesson. We're going to see what the Lord has for us as it relates to intimacy in our sacral chakra, which is the second attribute of the divine feminine. So healing, allow yourself to heal from all of your traumas and all that good stuff, is allowing yourself to have a fair chance at a decent life. It is allowing yourself a fair shot at living the life that you are meant to live. Okay, yes, we have to suffer. We have to go through things. We are persecuted. We are talked about. We are let down. We go through abandonment and neglect. We deal with rejection, right? We deal with negative body image, low self-esteem, all that good stuff. You know, we deal with drug addiction. We deal with promiscuity. We deal with all of that. And so, but none of that is the problem, right? The problem is the reason you are like that in the first place, okay? The problem is the reason you are like that in the first place. And so that's why we have to get honest and be vulnerable so that we can let them go, so that we can feel safe. Like I didn't feel safe in me. So I never felt safe in the world. And it was like I always felt so weird. I always felt like people was looking at me. I always felt like the odd man out because nobody really understood me and why I was the way that I was. Like I went through a period of self-mutilation. I was a cutter. Like I went through all of that, but none of that was the issue. It was the symptom of what I had experienced in my life that I hadn't dealt with, right? And so that's why I say, don't let this fool you. I understand what it's like to live in hell, okay? I done been through a lot of things. I've been through a lot, okay? And that's why I say there is never no reason for anybody to ever feel ashamed to admit anything, especially not to me, because there is nothing that you can bring me that I have not been through personally. I have experienced damn near every situation that there is to experience and go through, and so I understand. And so I'm never coming at you from a place of judgment, but of understanding and of love, right? I will always be honest and direct, but it's never out of judgment. Okay, if God did it for me, God will do it for you. I promise you, healing is here for you. Okay, you are not damaged goods. You are good enough, right? The things that you went through, you had to go through so you can build some character, right? So you can know what self-love is, so you can learn to depend on yourself and trust in yourself and trust in God, right? It gave you strength, right? It gave you the tenacity to go after the things that you want in life. You became a hustler from not having. You said, I don't want to be hungry no more, so I'm going to get up and I'm going to hustle to make sure me and my babies eat, right? The things that we go through, that they make us the people that we are. But we have to let go of the toxic traits that they give us and grab on to the positive traits that they created in us, so we can go on to tell somebody else how to get over that. You know, that's what it's about for me. That is what it's about for me. I am authentic to the things that I have been through. Alright, can we get the overall energy for the reading, please? Overall energy. Just some encouraging words. That's a lot. Can we have the overall energy, please? Thank you. A personal issue reaches its resolution. You're very close to achieving your goal. Bottom of the deck, expect powerful change and work through your fears. Okay? Don't let your fears hold you back. Don't let your past hold you back, right? All that we went through is our past, right? That is who we used to be. It's not who we are. And it doesn't have to keep us from being who we are meant to be in this life, right? You don't let nobody dictate what your healing looks like for you, okay? Okay, I just want to get one of these chakra cards, and then we are going to get into it. Okay. Have a chakra oracle, please. Thank you. Nurturing, bring balance. Healing will bring a balance back, and will bring balance into your life. Okay, healing the masculine and feminine energies in you, right? Going through your healing process brings balance back to your chakras, okay? Removing the blockages and clearing out all of the negative energy in you. It brings the balance back into your life, okay? This personal issue that needs to reach its resolution will bring balance into your life. Whatever goal you are trying to achieve will bring balance into your life. This powerful change and releasing your fears is going to bring balance back into your life. This deals with the root chakra. So this is the foundation of who you are. And it's time for us to balance out our foundation, right? And so we have to first become rooted in that foundation. What are you rooted in? What is your source, Miss Empress? You got to start there first, my love. Okay, so we're going to clarify and see what this personal issue is. Okay, what is this? This is a full moon emotion, but it's the throat. So whatever this personal issue is going to require you to speak your truth, to be authentic and stand firm in your truth, right? Whatever this personal issue is. And it's going to help you to achieve this goal you out here trying to work on. Okay, what's the goal? Healing is the goal for me. Healing. But balance is here for you, Miss Empress. A personal issue reaches resolution. What is this? Can you clarify? A personal issue reaches resolution around my please. What's the issue? Let's find that out. What's the issue? Sheesh. I thought one flipped out. That came out in the reverse. We're going to try again. Okay. What's this personal issue? Sheesh. What? Good God Almighty. One at a time, please. One at a time. One at a time, please. Can we clarify the personal issue, which is this resolution? What is this personal issue? Sheesh. Thank you. Okay. Trying to find balance. Because you got somebody in your life that's saying all the wrong things. They're saying all the right things, but the energy don't feel right. Like what they're saying, it should feel right, but it don't feel right. And you don't know, it's like, am I crazy, or like they're saying the right things, but the way it makes me feel, it don't feel right. Is it me or is it them? Am I tripping or not? And this is a time when you really need to trust your intuition, Miss Empress. If you are in a situation and it does not feel right to you, then you need to know that something about it is not right, and you trust yourself and you trust the feelings that you are getting, and you investigate those feelings till you get to the bottom of it. Okay, because this person is very charismatic, and that's how they be. That's how they be. They be charismatic. They come off as genuine. They come off as the good guy. They come off as like they would never hurt a fly, right? And so when accusations are put on their name, they use that same charisma to make the person to tear the character of the other person, right? Like as a young lady, or as a child, when you go and you tell on your abuser, and that they use their charisma to make you are the victim, but they make it seem like you're lying. And they're able to do that because of the personality that they have. That's why I don't go off of what nobody tell me. I go off of how you make me feel. I go off of what your words, my spidey sense is going off. I trust me. I trust my body. I trust the clues that the Lord gives me about somebody. You could tell me anything, but if what you saying ain't hitting my spirit right, then something ain't right. Okay, but you're trying to balance it out. You're focused. Let's see. Because yeah, it affects your relationships. Every relationship you have, it affects. It keeps you secluded and isolated. It keeps you from really having an intimate relationship with other people, and that is anyway, right? Whether it is a intimate relationship with a sexual partner or just friends and families, right? The people who you encounter on an everyday basis, it keeps you from feeling like you are able to be you, or to be vulnerable, because you have been manipulated so much, you have been talked about and let down so much for the thing that happened to you. Like how you gonna judge me for my story, right? How you gonna talk about me for the things that I've been through, but here this other person is, you're not holding them accountable for anything, right? And you also have to stop giving your love to the wrong person. This energy is not deserving of your love. It is not worthy of your love, right? The type of love that you are giving, you are not getting it back in return. And it doesn't matter how many cups you give this individual, you are not going to get what you are looking for, because you have not found that in you first, right? What you are looking for, only you can give you. Okay, and so as long as you keep trying to balance the situation out, and bring love into it, and you pour out your heart to an individual who don't mean you no good, he turns around and throws that very thing back up in your face, right? Like, you'll tell somebody what you've been through, and then when they mad at you, they'll be like, that's why you went through that. That's why that happened to you. Like, I see why such and such did that to you. You know, it's very mean. I've had that happen to me before too, so I know what that's like. But people use the very thing that broke you against you, right? So what, you're very close to achieving your goal. What is this? You're very close to achieving your goal. What is this? You know, it's time to take action, Miss Empress. It's time to take action because everything that you need, my love, you already have it in you. Everything that you are searching for from this individual over here. Everything you are searching for, everything that you need, it is already in you. You already have it. You already have the tools necessary to come up out of this. But you have to go within and find it. You have to know that you are good enough. You cannot use a physical solution for this problem. Okay, your healing has to be done on a spiritual aspect, and then it will manifest physically, right? But you have to take a spiritual approach to it. Okay, because everything that you are looking for in this in other people, you have to first find it in you first, and then God will bring people in your life who mirror you, who emulate what you are, who are vibrating on the level that you are on the energies that you are vibrating on, right? You will get like-minded people in your life because you are still vibrating on this low vibrational energy. You are still going to be bringing low vibrational energies into your life, right? But once you sit down and you go through your healing process and you get rooted and you get grounded, you will then be able to, you are raising your vibrations during the healing process, right? So then as you move forward with your life, you will then attract high vibrational people to you because that is what you are vibrating on, my love. Now it's time to deal with your shadow side. It's time to deal with all of the hurt, the pain, the trauma, the abuse. It's time to get honest about it. It's time to admit that it happened. It's time to admit to yourself that you wasn't crazy, because we'll go so far as to question ourselves, like did that really happen to me? Did I make that up? But no, Miss Empress, you did not make it up. Yes, it did happen to you, and it's time to get honest with that. You have to be honest and vulnerable in that. You cannot look at what anybody else is going to think or how anybody else is going to feel, because our healing process is personal, right? You cannot worry about that, because if you worry about that, it is going to be a hindrance, right? You have you cannot hide from it any longer, right? The pain that you feel won't let you hide from it any longer, because the fact of the matter is you don't want to be this way anymore, the way that you are, because of all that you have gone through, and then the relationships that you get caught up in because of the way that you are. You don't want to be like this anymore. You don't want to go through these things anymore. You don't want to be in toxic energy anymore. You don't want to be a dysfunctional person anymore. And not only do you not want to be a dysfunctional person, you don't want to be around dysfunctional energy. You don't want to be around anybody who is not going to uplift you and motivate you and encourage you. You want to find a like-minded people to connect yourself with, right? But that starts with you going through the healing process, and it came out sideways. So this lets me know that some way, somehow, that process has already started. You have already begun to take a look at the things you need to work on. Now you are just trying to figure out how to work on them. Healing is here for you, right? This is being balanced in the physical plane and the spiritual plane, right? This is her balancing out her spiritual chakras and her physical chakras, right? As she pours water onto the land and into the water, she is pouring out what is no longer serving her. She is pouring out to be balanced, okay? She is letting go of all the things that she thought she needed in this season of her life. She now realizes that where she is going, it is not working for her anymore. It is not going to get her anywhere. It got her where it was supposed to get her. And now that she is at the destination, it is time for her to let it go, to deal with all that came with this, with the shadow side, okay? All of the toxic energy, all of dysfunction, all of the abuse, all of the hurt and the pain. It is time to deal with that, right? And get honest about what it is you got going on. And look past, it's time to look past the what's and see the why, right? Why is this person acting like this? Why is this person doing this? Because people get so caught up in judging the what that they forget to look for the why. We don't wake up and just decide to self-mutilate, right? We don't wake up and just decide that we don't want to be alive anymore. We don't just wake up and decide that we're just going to be a hoe for the rest of our life. Like, we don't wake up and decide that, but that is all people see, right? And people don't care enough to get to the root of the issue and understand the why. I care enough, Miss Empress. I do. To get to the root of the issue, to understand the why, to help you understand the why. I care, okay? So she is balancing out her the spiritual side of her and the physical side of her, because she understands that she is a spiritual being first, having a physical experience down here in the 3D. She understands that, and so she knows that what she experiences spiritually, it manifests physically for her. So she knows she got to deal with both. She know they coincide with each other, right? And so her going through her healing process, she is working on being in the world, but not of the world. Right? I am letting go of the material world and what no longer serves me. I am allowing God to do a new thing in my life. I am allowing God to shine his love and his grace all over me so that I can heal and then walk in purpose, so that I can go on and help somebody else and tell somebody else that she is good enough and show her the way to get through her healing. Okay, she is not avoiding the issue any longer. She is taking it on head first, right? She is dealing with it head on. She's not running and she is not hiding. She is standing bare butt naked. And this could be the physical, but for me, this is more of the spiritual aspect of it. She is letting it all out. She is standing naked before the Lord, letting him know, God, I need you. God, I can't do this without you. God, it hurt too bad. I can't carry this load no further. I can't do this on my own no further. What he did to me that hurt me, God, and I didn't like it. My mama not being there for me that hurt me, God, and I didn't like it. My sister talking about me that hurt my feelings and I didn't like it. Like, whatever the case may be, I'm just giving it whatever. I'm just saying whatever the case may be, okay? But she is standing there naked before the Lord, being vulnerable, allowing God to come in and wash away all the hurt and the pain, allowing his love to radiate through her from the crown of her head, right? And it goes in her and it starts to regulate her chakras, right? It starts to settle in her heart, and she is in turn. And as it settles in her heart, it then goes and it spreads throughout the rest of her body. And as the love of the Lord spreads through your body, it begins to heal and unblock all of the trauma that you have experienced in your life. Okay? But you have to understand that you cannot deal with this physically. This is spiritually. And it will manifest physically. Okay? Because this cycle is ending for you. But it has to end with the healing. Right? Healing has to happen for this cycle to end. If not, you are going to be acting out the same behaviors. There is not going to be any change, right? Because healing has not happened. The perspective has not changed. You are still dealing with things the same way. And you cannot take your way of problem solving now. You cannot take that to where God is taking you. right? You got to learn a whole new way. But you have to be willing and you have to be flexible and willing to learn a whole new way. Okay? It's not easy, but it's worth it. It's possible. Look, here goes these cards doing the most tonight. So, okay. Do not be so focused on all that you have lost, right? All the people who have disappointed you, all the people who have let you down, who have turned their back on you, right? Who didn't believe you, who called you a liar, all the people who put their hands on you, who tossed you out to the wolves, who lied on you, right? All the people that walked away, that walked out your life, the ones that said that they would be there through thick and thin no matter what. But when the tough got going, they walked away, right? All the people who have disappointed you, do not let that stop you from moving forward. Don't be so focused on that you are not focused on the cup of love that the Lord is trying to give you. Because healing is here for you. Once again, God is giving us his cup of love again so that healing can happen, so that emotional restoration can take place, so God can take the broken pieces in us and make us whole again. You are not damaged goods, Miss Empress. You are good enough. Okay? Because if you stay stuck on the past memories, the flashbacks, and the trauma, right? A Six of Cups. If you focus on everything that went wrong in your childhood, then you are not going to be able to let it go. Right? It cannot be about placing blame. It cannot be about who was right and who was wrong. It cannot be about wanting vengeance. It solely has to be about you being ready to let it go and allowing healing to come into your life. Right? You have to be tired of being tired so that healing can take place. You have to be willing to let it go, Miss Empress. You have to. So that the flashbacks can go, so the nightmares can go, so all the bad memories can go, right? So that you can love yourself accordingly and not based on what other people tell you you are, right? The love of God has come and settled in your heart. And so because you have experienced the love of God, you know what that is. And so you know that anything that anybody has ever told you outside of that is a bunch of bullshit. Okay, we're not believing that no more. Okay, so we made up in our mind that we're going to walk away from all the things that no longer serve us, right? All of the hurt and the pain, right? All of the brokenness that we have experienced, those tears that we cried in the middle of the night when we felt like nobody loved us, nobody cared, when we felt like we wasn't good enough. All of those feelings and those thoughts that we had sitting in the darkness in the corner in the middle of the night that nobody knows about. You know, when it was just you and God and you all you could do was cry. Right? Because it hurt so bad. All you could do was cry. It's time to walk away from that. Healing is here for you. Okay, because this is what she is doing, right? She is walking away from all the emotional trauma she has experienced, right? And she's letting it go. And as she's standing in the water, she is declaring, for God I live and for God I die. God, if you say healing is here for me, I will take your healing. Because the way I've been living, I can't go on this way no longer. God, it hurts too bad. The load is too heavy. It's too much. God, the thoughts is too much. I don't want to be cooking dinner and then I think about a moment that I was violated and my whole world shuts down. Like I want to be able to give my sister a hug and I feel like I'm being violated, right? I want to be able to be in a loving, committed relationship and I feel like it's my fault if he put his hands on me. I don't want to feel like it's my fault for him cheating on me. I don't want to have to feel like I have to give my body to men who don't deserve it because I need love. I feel like I'm not good enough. I don't want to keep pimping my womanhood out for the love that I know you can give me. God, I'm ready to let you come into my life. I'm ready to allow you to come into my heart and clean me up the right way. God, I need your love to clean me up the right way because the way I've been doing it thus far, it ain't working for me no more. If I keep going this way, I'm gonna end up killing myself, God. And I know that is not what you have for me. I know that you have better for me, but I got to want it for myself. God, I know this. So God, I surrender it to you. I give it all to the divine, right? Lord, I lay it at your lap. I lay it at your feet. What is it that I need to do on today, God, so I can let the burdens go, so I can let the past go, so I don't have to sit and be sad in this energy any longer, so depression don't have a hold on me no more, so I don't feel like I got 15 people in my head. God, what do I need to do to bring balance in my life? What do I need to do to bring stability in my life? Because God, this way ain't working for me no more. So for God I live and for God I die. Lord, what is it that you will have me to do? Right? That's what she got going on in this water. Because she don't want the chaos and the conflict no more. Okay, but she also understands that everything that she went through, it was for her. It was for a reason. She had to experience it. She had to go through it, but you don't went through it, my love. And the stars have aligned in your favor. This season of your life is over. You don't have to live this way any longer. You can put the sword down. God is calling you out of battle. Okay, you are coming out of fighting that battle. You are going through your healing process and you are going on to fight to help other people fight the battle you just came out of. Okay, because it is your time. The clock has struck and it landed on divine timing. Okay, it is your time for healing. This is your season for healing. Okay, lay your swords down. And as you lay your swords down, you lay your burdens down, right? Because God said his yoke is easy and his burden is light. Okay, you lay it all down at the feet of your God. And you allow God to do a new thing in you, okay? So that you can stand up and declare, thus saith the Lord. So that God can get the victory out of your life. Right? So you can honestly say that no weapon formed against me shall prosper. Okay, it is your time. You overcame. Right? You stood the test of time. You looked the devil dead in his face and you told him, you will not keep me any longer. I will not be stuck in the illusion that you have put before me any longer. This does not have to be my reality because I speak life over me on today. I speak healing over me on today. I speak love over me on today. I don't have to live in the land of illusion any longer, right? I'm ready to take the rose-colored glasses off and see the world for what it really is the right way, because I know and I understand that I create my reality and I choose to be whole on today. I choose to be healed on today. I choose to be happy on today. I choose to be powerful on today. I choose to be the divine feminine that I have been called to be on today. I choose life on today. Okay. What is this balance here for? You have to balance out your thoughts. And in balancing out your thoughts, you have to balance out the way you communicate them thoughts. Okay, you have to bring balance to the mental aspect, to the way you see things, the way you process things, right? And you have to stop second guessing yourself so much. You cannot be worrying about what everybody else is going to think. that is going to keep you stuck, and it is going to hinder the healing process. Okay, you have to be willing to be vulnerable and honest in your authentic feelings. Okay, you cannot care about what everybody else is going to think, because somebody is always going to have an opinion. Okay, we'll always find a reason to stay stuck. So we cannot do that. We cannot look at anything outside of us. Okay. So God is bringing balance to your mind. God is restoring your mind, right? So you can feel safe to speak your truth. So you can feel safe to be authentic. So you can feel safe to stand up and protect yourself and speak up for yourself. So you can stop letting people think they can play with you, okay? God is bringing balance to the way that you see who you are. Okay, so you have a lot of masculine energy that needs to be balanced out in you, my love. And I can understand that, because when you have been violated so much, you don't really show up in your feminine energy. You show up in your masculine energy because you're going to go above and beyond to protect yourself. You're going to make sure that nobody think that they could ever play with you again. But that is how we push the wrong people away. We show up in masculine energy the wrong way. We allow the wrong people to experience the feminine side of us. And we allow the right people to experience the mean, angry, hateful, negative, masculine side of us, which then causes us to push the wrong people away. But that stems from because we're scared of being hurt anyway. You're going to leave me anyway. You're going to walk away from me anyway. So why are you even trying to get close to me? You're not going to stay that long anyway. So I might as well help you pretty much. I might as well help you walk out of my life, because you're going to do it anyway. At least if you walk away because of something I did, it won't hurt that bad because I did it. It was my decision, right? Listen. Can I have one more for this balance, please? Yeah, you have choices. You have choices of what you're going to do, okay? The world is yours for the taking, right? Our reality is what we created to be, okay? That is why 10 different people can look at the same thing and you will get 10 different answers. Because, first of all, our environment affects the way we view the world. The things that we experience affect the way we see the world. But who we are affects the way we see the world, right? And so you have choices, right? You have a choice to see the world another way. Excuse me, you have a choice to see the way you view yourself another way. You have a choice to take this healing. Okay, you have a choice. But transformation is healing. Is here for you. Love is here for you. Healing is here for you. Stability is here for you. Having a stable foundation is here for you. Prosperity and abundance is here for you. The Lord is on your side, okay? And God is here for you. Listen, ready, waiting, and willing, okay? To give you, right? Because we create our realities, right? And so create the reality for yourself where you are strong, right? Where you can have a brand new beginning, being abundant and being prosperous, right? Having a stable foundation, building the life that you want to live, allowing God to rain abundance down in your life because you are doing your part. You put in all your beasts and your demons to rest. You finding strength in all the hurt and pain that you have been through is what is going to bring this abundance into your life. It's going to create a whole new reality for you. You are going to see life differently because you are not looking out of the lens of hurt and pain. right? You are not being broken. You are not broke down, busted, and disgusted. So the way you see life is going to change. And because of that, your whole foundation, your whole world, the way that you see things, just you, just who you are, it is all going to change. But you are going to be able to build because of it. You are going to be able to master who you are because of it. You are going to be able to create a whole new reality, being abundant, living the life that you are meant to live because of it, Miss Empress. Okay, because you took the cup. Okay, and in that you found emotional stability, you found fulfillment, you found happiness, but you found that by going within and getting to know yourself and building an intimate relationship with yourself so that you can trust yourself. And in turn, you build an intimate relationship with the Lord. You allow God to love on you, right? And to heal you and to protect you and to show you that you are worthy. You allow God to do the work in you, right? Because you helped God help you. We have to help God help us, okay? Because we have free will. The choice is ours. Okay. So we are going to end it right there. We are going to get, I forgot to get the door code. Okay. We are going to get a word from Miss Mary Magdalene to take us on up out of here on tonight. Okay, y'all, don't allow the things that you went through. Your divine mother is here for you. Rebirth is here for you. Transformation is here for you. Okay, you had to go through the fire, right? You had to go through the pressure, right? But it was making you, it was molding you into the diamond that you were meant to be, that you always were, right? It is time to dust all of the dirt out of you, off of you, out of you and off of you, and shine bright like a diamond, the diamond you have always been. You just had to go through the fire so you can build and shape and mold that diamond. Okay. So intimacy affects the sacral chakra, which affects our emotions and how we relate to the world from an emotional standpoint, because the fear of intimacy causes us to not trust anybody and to not feel safe enough to trust anybody. And so we have to deal with the things that cause us to be that way, and the symptoms will go away. Alright, here we have just a card just to close the reading out with, just an encouraging word to take with us. Alright, okay. Show the world the real you. Okay, going through the healing process is how you find the real you, Miss Empress. You are so worthy of love. You are so deserving of love. And God loves you so much. God loves us so much. It doesn't matter what nobody say. It doesn't matter what you've been through. It don't matter how bad it got for you. Okay? And none of that matters. God loves you. Okay? And God is saying it's time to show the world the real you. It's time to get back to the real you. But first, you have to go through the healing process to do so. Okay? Look. Intimacy. Okay? Intimacy and the real you. Be intimate with self first. Practice intimacy with yourself first, right? Be vulnerable with yourself. Feel safe enough to be vulnerable and to trust in you. It's okay to cry, Miss Empress. It's okay to let it hurt, Miss Empress. It's okay to let it out, Miss Empress. It's okay to deal with it, Miss Empress, and be honest and authentic in how you feel and how the things you went through made you feel. It's okay to be honest and authentic in that. It's not okay to get stuck in that. Okay? So build an intimate relationship with self so that you can find out who you really are. So that in turn, you can show the world who you really are. And then you can come on over and help me get some other empresses healing. Okay? To help other empresses show the world the real them. So you can go on and tell somebody else that they are good enough and God loves them and they are worthy of the same love that God shown you. The same love and forgiveness that God has shown me. The same mercy and compassion that God has shown me. You, my love, are worthy of that too. Okay, you are worthy of that. Okay, God loves you. God loves us. Okay, it doesn't matter what nobody else say, doesn't matter what nobody else thinks. God loves you and you are worthy. You are good enough. Okay. So yeah, we're gonna end it right there. I pray, I really pray this message really hits the vulnerable spots in you and it shows you that you are not alone and it shows you that healing is here for you. Are you gonna take it? Are you gonna take it? Okay, because yes, it get bad, yes, it get hard. Okay, but you have the tenacity, dig deep and find that inner strength and stand in your power and allow the love of the Lord to come into your life. Go through your healing process so you can stand on your own 2 feet and be the divine feminine that your soul was sent down here to be, Miss Empress. Okay? I love you. You be blessed. And I will see you in the next video. Okay? Be blessed.